The dark side of empathy. It's a concept that might sound contradictory at first, but it's very real and very dangerous. Ever felt like someone understood you perfectly but still made your life miserable? Like they were always one step ahead, knowing exactly what to say to get under your skin? Like they knew exactly which buttons to push and weren't afraid to push them? It's as if they have a manual to your emotional triggers. You might be thinking that's just a jerk, someone who enjoys making others feel bad, and you'd be right. But what if I told you there's a special kind of jerk out there, one who weaponizes empathy itself? They don't just understand your feelings, they manipulate them. Buckle up. Because today we're diving into the world of dark empaths. These individuals are not just emotionally intelligent, they are emotionally cunning. These master manipulators aren't your typical narcissists. Oh no, they are far more complex and dangerous. There's something far more insidious. They blend in, often appearing as the most understanding and compassionate people. Imagine a predator that doesn't just stalk its prey, but understands its every fear and desire. That's a dark empath. They use their deep understanding of human emotions to control and dominate. They can read your emotions like a book, but instead of offering comfort, they use that knowledge to control and exploit. They twist your feelings to serve their own ends, leaving you questioning your own reality. So, how do you protect yourself from such a manipulator? Awareness is the first step. Recognize the signs and trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Stay tuned as we explore more about how to identify and deal with dark empaths in your life. Knowledge is your best defense. So, what exactly is a dark empath? They're like that friend who always knows the right thing to say, but then uses it against you later. They're masters of emotional mimicry, reflecting your feelings back at you to gain your trust. You might think you've found a kindred spirit, someone who truly gets you, and then bam, they hit you with the manipulation. It's like they're playing chess with your emotions while you're stuck playing checkers. They can sense your vulnerabilities, your deepest insecurities, and exploit them for their own gain. They're charming, charismatic, and downright dangerous. But don't worry, we're gonna give you the tools to spot these emotional vampires before they sink their teeth in. Before we go full-on dark empath hunting, let's talk about the infamous Dark Triad. We're talking narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Basically, the unholy trinity of bad personality traits. Narcissists need constant admiration, Machiavellians are master manipulators, and psychopaths, well, let's just say they're not winning any nicest person awards. But here's the thing, dark empaths are different. They're not just selfish or ruthless. They have this weird, twisted empathy. They understand your emotions, they just don't care. Think of it like this. The Dark Triad are like sharks, all teeth and aggression. Dark empaths are more like anglerfish, luring you in with the promise of connection before striking. Alright, enough theory. Let's get practical. How can you spot these emotional chameleons in the wild? It's not always easy, but there are certain signs that can help you identify them. These individuals are often very skilled at blending in and making themselves appear harmless, but if you know what to look for, you can see through their facade. Keep your eyes peeled for these telltale signs. They can be subtle, but once you know what to look for, they become much more apparent. 1. They're charming. Too charming. Their charm is almost magnetic, drawing people in effortlessly. We're talking next-level charm, the kind that makes you feel like you've known them your whole life. They have a way of making you feel special and understood, but it's all part of their act. Don't be fooled, it's all part of their plan to disarm you. 2. Master manipulators. They know exactly how to push your buttons and get what they want. They're experts at guilt trips, playing the victim, and emotional blackmail. They can twist any situation to make you feel like you're the one at fault. If you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells around them, that's a red flag. This constant tension is a sign that they're manipulating your emotions. 3. They feed off your energy. They thrive on your emotional responses, whether positive or negative. Ever notice how you feel drained after spending time with them? It's because they're siphoning your emotional energy. Dark empaths are emotional vampires, sucking the positivity right out of you. 4. They're always right. They have an unshakable belief in their own infallibility. Trying to win an argument with a dark empath is like trying to reason with a brick wall. They will never admit they're wrong, they're never wrong, and they'll twist themselves into pretzels to prove it. Their need to be right is more important than the truth. 5. They lack genuine empathy. They might seem empathetic, but it's all a facade. They might say all the right things, but their actions tell a different story. Their empathy is superficial and self-serving. They're incapable of truly understanding or caring about your feelings. Their concern is always about how they can benefit from the situation. 6. They're masters of disguise. They can blend into any environment and adapt to any social situation. Dark empaths can be anyone, anywhere. They are chameleons, changing their behavior to fit in seamlessly. They could be your boss, your coworker, even your friend. Their ability to blend in makes them hard to spot. 7. They leave a trail of destruction. Their relationships are often tumultuous and short-lived. Take a look at their past relationships. You'll often find a pattern of chaos and heartbreak. Chances are, there's a pattern of broken hearts and shattered friendships. 8. They love bomb you. This is one of their most deceptive tactics. They shower you with affection and attention, making you feel like the most special person in the world. It's intoxicating and overwhelming, but it's all an act to gain your trust and control. Once they have you hooked, their true nature starts to show. Remember, these are just some common traits. Not everyone who exhibits these behaviors is a dark empath. It's important to look at the overall pattern of behavior, but if you notice several of these red flags, it's time to proceed with caution. Trust your instincts and protect your emotional well-being. Now you might be thinking, what kind of messed up childhood creates a dark empath? And that's a fair question. Like most things in psychology, it's complicated. It's likely a combination of nature and nurture. Some researchers believe dark empaths are born with a predisposition for these traits, but even if you're born with a dark side, it doesn't mean you're destined to become a villain. Environmental factors play a huge role too. Think childhood trauma, neglect, or even just growing up in a really messed up family. These experiences can warp a person's sense of empathy, twisting it into something dark and dangerous. Section 6. They see you, but do they feel you? The empathy paradox. Here's where things get really interesting. Dark empaths possess something called cognitive empathy. This means they can understand and even predict your emotions, but they don't actually feel them. It's like they have an emotional cheat sheet, but no real connection to the material. Imagine watching a sad movie. You understand the characters are sad, you might even cry, but you don't feel their sadness as your own. That's cognitive empathy in a nutshell. And for dark empaths, it's a superpower. They can use their understanding of your emotions to manipulate you without ever feeling an ounce of remorse. Section 7, Red Alert, Navigating a Dark Empath Encounter. So, you've spotted a dark empath in your life, what now? First rule, don't panic. Remember, knowledge is power. Now that you know what you're dealing with, you can start to protect yourself. The most important thing is to establish boundaries. Dark empaths are like emotional bulldozers. They'll keep pushing until you push back. Let them know you won't tolerate their manipulation. Call them out on their BS. And don't be afraid to walk away from the conversation or even the relationship if you need to. Setting boundaries with a dark empath can feel like trying to wrangle a greased piglet. It's a challenging task that requires patience and persistence. They're slippery, they're manipulative, and they really don't like it when you try to assert yourself. They might use guilt, charm, or even anger to break down your defenses, but trust me, it's worth the effort. The sense of relief and empowerment you'll feel is unparalleled. Start by identifying your non-negotiables. Take some time to reflect and write them down. What are you absolutely not willing to put up with? Is it constant negativity, manipulation, or disrespect? Maybe it's their constant negativity, their guilt trips, or their habit of undermining your confidence. Or perhaps it's their need to control every situation, leaving you feeling trapped and powerless. Once you know your limits, make them crystal clear. Communicate them firmly and without hesitation. Use I statements like "I feel disrespected when you talk to me like that," or "I need some space right now." These statements are powerful and non-confrontational. Don't be afraid to take a step back and create space when needed. It's essential for your well-being. And don't be afraid to enforce those boundaries. Stand firm and be unwavering in your resolve. If they cross a line, call them out on it. Let them know that their behavior is unacceptable. If they continue to disrespect your boundaries, reiterate them firmly. Consistency is key, and if they still don't respect your boundaries, it might be time to distance yourself from the relationship. Sometimes walking away is the best way to protect your energy and peace of mind. Hold up, folks. We're about to drop some serious knowledge bombs on how to deal with these emotional ninjas. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way you'll never miss an episode of life-changing advice from yours truly. We're talking practical tips, real-life examples, and maybe even a few laughs along the way. So, what are you waiting for? Join the crew. Remember, dealing with a dark empath can be draining, but it doesn't have to break you. Knowledge is power, and now you've got the knowledge to spot these manipulators a mile away. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't be afraid to set boundaries and enforce them. And remember, you deserve to be treated with respect. If someone isn't giving you that, they don't deserve a place in your life. You've got this. And there you have it, folks. The lowdown on dark empaths. Remember, knowledge is power, and now you're armed and dangerous. But the learning doesn't stop here. We've got a whole library of videos on how to navigate the crazy world of relationships, from dealing with toxic friends to spotting red flags in your love life. So what are you waiting for? Click on the video right here to keep the knowledge flowing. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay awesome. Peace out.